The cry in the cargo bay. John was working alone in the quiet side of Space Station Orvin 6. He was a human mechanic, not a soldier, not a hero. His job was to fix pipes, wires, and broken doors. Nothing more. It was late, and most people on the station were asleep. The only sound was the hum of machines and the soft buzz of lights. He walked through Cargo Bay 9, dragging his toolkit behind him. Suddenly he stopped. He heard something. A sound. Soft. Shaky. It wasn't a machine. It sounded like crying. John frowned and looked around. "Hello?" he asked quietly. But there was no answer. He followed the sound. It came from behind a large stack of metal crates. The closer he got, the clearer it became. Someone was hiding. Someone small. Very slowly, John crouched down and peeked between the crates. His heart skipped a beat. It was a child. Not a human child, but an alien. Her skin was violet and glowing slightly, and her eyes were large and bright, like stars. She had long silver hair, and strange symbols glowed faintly on her arms. She looked maybe 7 or 8 years old. She was shaking, afraid. John raised his hand slowly. "It's okay," he said softly. "I'm not here to hurt you." The alien girl looked at him. Her eyes were wide with fear, but she didn't move. John took off his tool belt and placed it on the floor. "See? No weapons." She looked at his hands, then at his face. Finally, she made a soft sound and pointed at her leg. It was hurt, bleeding, but not with red blood. It was blue, glowing slightly like her skin. John moved closer very slowly. He reached into his pocket and took out a clean cloth. "I can help," he whispered. She didn't stop him. He gently wrapped the cloth around her leg. She winced but didn't cry out. Her eyes stayed locked on his face. She was trying to understand him. "What's your name?" he asked. She didn't answer. Maybe she didn't understand him. He smiled gently. "It's okay. I'll call you Yari." The girl blinked, then tilted her head. "Yup, Ri," she said slowly, trying to repeat it. John nodded. "Yes, Yari." She didn't smile, but her shoulders relaxed a little. Just then the lights in the cargo bay flickered. John froze. An alarm started to beep softly in the distance. Red lights flashed on the walls. Security alert. Someone was scanning the area. John looked down at Yari. "They're looking for you, aren't they?" She looked at him, silent, but her eyes said yes. Footsteps echoed in the hallway outside. "Come on," John whispered. He picked her up gently. She was light, almost weightless. He moved quickly, staying low, hiding behind crates and barrels. A shadow passed by the glass window of the cargo bay. A tall figure with dark armor and a strange glowing visor. Not human. Bounty hunter, maybe. John's heart pounded. He held Yari close and whispered, "Shh. We'll be okay." The door to the cargo bay hissed open. The figure stepped inside. His boots clicked on the floor. He was scanning with a small device, moving slowly. John hid behind a large tank, holding his breath. Yari buried her face in his chest. The hunter stopped. He sniffed the air. "She was here," the hunter said in a cold voice. "I can smell her." He walked closer. The scanner beeped faster. John looked around, searching for an escape. He saw a small maintenance tunnel behind a loose panel on the wall. Quietly, he shifted, one step at a time, until he reached the panel. He opened it just enough and slid inside, holding Yari tight. The hunter turned sharply, looking in their direction, but it was too late. John pulled the panel closed behind them. Inside the tunnel, it was dark and narrow. John crawled through, heart racing. Behind him, he heard the hunter growl in frustration and leave the bay. After 10 minutes, John reached his quarters. He locked the door behind him and placed Yari on the bed. She looked at him with tired, scared eyes. He knelt beside her. "You're safe now," he said. "I don't know who you are or why they want you, but I promise I'll protect you." Yari reached out and touched his face gently. Then she whispered her first full word in English. "Thank you." John smiled, but in his heart he knew this was just the beginning. Something big had started tonight, and it began with a cry in the cargo bay, a secret worth dying for. John didn't sleep that night. After hiding the alien child, Yari, in his small room, he sat near her and kept watch. Every time she moved, he checked to make sure she was okay. He had wrapped her injured leg again with better supplies. She didn't speak much, but she stayed close to him now. Her glowing eyes followed him everywhere. The next morning, he knew he couldn't report her. If he did, the hunters would get her, and something deep inside told him, if they got her, they wouldn't just take her. They would erase her. But why? She was just a child. That's when he noticed something new. Yari had something in her small bag. It was hidden under her cloak. John had seen it flash during the night. Now she carefully pulled it out. It was a crystal, but not like any crystal he had seen. It pulsed with energy. Soft light moved inside it like smoke and stars. She held it out to him with both hands and said something in her own language. The words were slow, broken, but powerful. John switched on his old alien translator device. Yari's words came through, faint and robotic. "This belongs to my father. He is gone. Bad men want it. They kill for it." John frowned. "Why? What is it?" Yari looked scared. She pointed to the crystal. Then she touched her chest. "This is memory." John took the crystal gently. When he touched it, something strange happened. It lit up even more. The crystal responded to him. A beam of light shot into the air like a small hologram. Images appeared, maps, stars, codes, and faces. One of them was her father. Tall, proud, wearing strange robes. Another face, familiar. It took John a moment to realize it was an Earth general, someone from his own species. The hologram showed a secret meeting. Human officers and alien leaders. They were shaking hands but not in peace. They were planning something. Attacks, destruction, lies. John stepped back, heart pounding. "This is proof," Yari nodded. "They lie to all. They make war to take power." John looked at her. "And they killed your father to silence him?" She nodded again. "They want crystal. They erase truth." Suddenly, loud boots echoed in the hallway outside. John froze. They were here. Someone banged on the door. "Maintenance check, open up." His hand moved fast. He grabbed Yari, the crystal, and hid them in his hidden crawl space behind the wall. It was small, but it had enough air for both of them. The door slid open. A tall man entered. Human. Security. His badge said Warden Tross. He had cold eyes. "Heard something strange last night in Cargo Bay 9, Tross said. "Anyone come through your route?" John shook his head. "No, I was off duty." Tross looked around. "You sleep here?" "Yeah," John said. "It's cheap." Tross stepped closer. "Mind if I scan?" John's stomach turned. "Go ahead." The scanner beeped. It passed over the room slowly. The beam moved near the wall. John held his breath. Inside the crawl space, Yari didn't move a muscle. After a moment, the scanner gave a green light. "Clear," Tross said. "But if you see anything or anyone, report it. These creatures are dangerous." John said nothing. Tross stepped closer. "You look nervous." John smiled a little. "No coffee." Tross stared at him for a long second, then he left. John waited. Counted slowly to 30. Then he opened the crawl space and helped Yari out. "They're getting close," he whispered. Yari clutched his hand. "They find us. They kill." He knew she was right. John couldn't hide her on the station forever. He had no ship, no safe exit. And now, she had given him a crystal that could start or stop a war. He sat down and held his head. He had a choice to make. If he gave the crystal to the right people, maybe he could expose the truth. But who could he trust? The humans were involved, the alien leaders too. Then a thought came to him. He remembered a woman, Captain Elda. She was once a rebel. She had disappeared years ago after warning the galaxy about secret deals between species. Maybe she was still alive. John knew where to look, but the place was not safe. The black tunnels of Drift Sector 5. Before he could plan more, his comm panel beeped. Incoming message. It was not audio, just a single sentence. You have something that does not belong to you. Give us the child, or die. John felt a chill in his spine. Someone knew. They were watching. He turned to Yari. She looked at him, tired, scared, but trusting. John nodded. I'm not giving you to them, he said. Not now, not ever. The war hadn't started yet, but the pieces were moving. He had saved a child. But now, he was holding a secret worth dying for. The woman who burned stars for 2 days, John stayed hidden with Yari. He didn't sleep much, he barely ate. He checked the hallway cams every few minutes. Someone was always watching. Sometimes it was humans. Sometimes it was aliens. But they all had one thing in common. Dark eyes and silent mouths. Bounty hunters. And they weren't giving up. Yari, the alien child, stayed close to him. She didn't talk much, but she watched everything. Her glowing eyes followed every move John made. And sometimes, when she thought he wasn't looking, she cried silently into her cloak. Then, on the third night, the station changed. A strange ship arrived. It didn't send a docking code. It didn't answer hails. It came in fast and quiet, like a shadow falling over light. The guards were confused. Some tried to scan it, but their tools failed. Others wanted to fire, but the ship ignored all weapons, passed through security nets like wind through cloth. It was not a big ship. It was smooth, black, with golden symbols on its wings, symbols no one had seen in years. And then, the ship opened. A figure stepped out, tall, powerful, glowing with heat. She wore armor made from dark crystal and living metal. A long cape followed her, floating like smoke. Her eyes burned like suns. Her hair moved as if touched by space itself. Someone whispered her name, Saraxa. Others called her something else, the woman who burned stars. Years ago, she had led a war across 3 systems, not for power, but for justice. She had lost everything in that war, husband, soldiers, friends, and her daughter. After that, she vanished. Now she had returned. On Station Orvin 6, and she wasn't here by chance. Inside his small room, John watched the security feed. When he saw her walk down the corridor, the light dimmed around her. People moved out of her way like leaves before a storm. John's chest tightened. Is that her? He asked. Yari walked to the screen. When she saw the woman, she gasped. Mother. Saraxa stopped at the center of the station. She looked around slowly, then raised her hand. A circle of fire appeared in the air. It showed her daughter's face. To those who hide her, she said, her voice deep and full of power, return her to me. I will not burn this place. Unless you make me. Panic filled the station. Soldiers pointed weapons at her, but none dared to shoot. She didn't move, didn't blink. John turned to Yari. Is that really your mother? Yari nodded. She is queen. John felt dizzy. Queen of what? Of the lost stars, Yari said. She is the fire. Before he could think more, a loud knock hit his door, but not like before. This knock melted the lock. The door slid open slowly. Saraxa stood there, her eyes locked on Yari. Her lips trembled. For a moment, she was not a queen, not a warrior, just a mother. Yari, she said softly. Yari ran into her arms. The light around Saraxa pulsed warmly as she knelt and held her daughter tight. John stood back, unsure what to say. Finally, Saraxa looked at him. You, she said. You saved her. John nodded slowly. I found her. She was hurt. Scared. Saraxa stood up. She towered over him. You protected her from hunters, from traitors, from humans and aliens alike. John shrugged. I just didn't want her to die. Saraxa stared into his eyes. In my people's law, she said, when someone saves the life of a royal child, we owe them a bond. John blinked. A bond? Life for life, she said. I stay. I protect. I share. He stepped back. I didn't ask for that. You didn't have to, she said. It is done. Suddenly the station shook. An explosion rocked the lower levels. John ran to his screen. Hunters were attacking. Multiple groups, armed with plasma drills and blackfire rifles. Syraxa's face turned to steel. They want the crystal, she said. They followed me. Can you fight them off? John asked. She didn't answer. She raised her hands. Two glowing swords appeared, shaped from heat and memory. Stay here, she said, and she walked out. Battle exploded across the station. Syraxa moved like lightning. Every step she took, metal bent. Every swing of her blade sent fire across the walls. She didn't kill all, only those who shot first. Others she knocked down with waves of light and heat. John watched from his screen. It was like watching a legend walk. Yari stood beside him, silent. Your mom, John whispered. She's terrifying. Yari smiled for the first time. She is love, she said. Hours later, when the fires cooled and the hunters retreated, Syraxa returned. Her armor was cracked, her face was cut, but her eyes were clear. She sat down beside John and said only one word. Now, we stay. John looked at her. You mean, here? She nodded. Until this is finished. And after, she looked at him. After, I will ask you a question. One that can change both our lives. He didn't ask what the question was, but he felt something inside him shift. The child he saved was safe now. But the queen, the woman who burned stars, had brought more than just protection. She had brought war, and maybe something even deeper. Dangerous bond. The station was quiet again. Too quiet. After Syraxa destroyed the hunters, most people on Orvan 6 avoided her. Doors stayed shut when she walked by. Soldiers pretended not to see her. Even the station commander didn't try to speak with her. They were all afraid, but not John. He wasn't afraid of her anymore. In fact, the more time he spent around her, the more he saw the other side of the queen. She wasn't always fire and swords. When she was alone with her daughter, she was soft. She told stories in a strange song-like voice, combed Yari's silver hair, and once John even heard her laugh. It wasn't loud. It was warm. He liked that sound more than he expected. They stayed hidden in his quarters for 3 more days. He built extra walls and sound dampeners to keep them invisible. They only went out at night, John for food and supplies, Syraxa for scouting. Then, one evening, she said something that shook him. You and I, she said while sharpening her blade, are now bound. John paused. What do you mean? Syraxa looked at him seriously. You saved my daughter. You held her. Life in your hands. That is sacred to my people. It means your soul touched hers. Now by our ancient law, I must join my life to yours. John stared at her. Wait, what kind of join are we talking about? A bond, she said. Not forced, but forever. John sat down, his head spinning. I'm just a mechanic. I fix broken vents and mop oil off the floor. I'm not a king. You don't have to be, she replied. You just have to be loyal. He didn't answer. Not because he didn't care, but because he did. Later that night, John found himself watching them sleep. Yari was curled up in blankets. Syraxa sat near the door, awake but still, eyes closed in meditation. He thought about how quiet his life used to be, how simple, and how fast everything had changed, from a lonely mechanic to protector of an alien child, and now possibly soul-bonded to a warrior queen. But things were about to get worse, because someone had followed them. That same night, the station's warning lights blinked red. Someone breached the data core. John rushed to the control screen. Someone had hacked into the station's central system, trying to trace communications and hidden power sources. And they weren't just random hackers. It was the human defense fleet. He scanned the signal route. The code came from a military ship, HSS Justice, a war cruiser. It was looking for Saraxa, but not to arrest her, to kill her. He opened the encrypted channel. A voice came through, sharp and full of command. "This is General Maddock of the Earth, Security Command. Mechanic 4729. John, respond." John didn't speak. The general continued. "You're hiding an enemy of Earth. She's dangerous. She destroyed ships, burned cities. Return her immediately, or we level that station in 1 hour." John's heart dropped. He looked at Saraxa. "They'll blow this place up," he said, "unless I give you to them." Saraxa didn't move. Then she said, "They're lying." "What?" "They sent that message not to arrest me, but to get the crystal." John's blood went cold. He had forgotten the crystal, the glowing memory Yari's father left behind. It held proof, truth. And now, death. Saraxa stood and took the crystal from a locked case. "There's something you need to see," she said. She pressed it to the wall. A wide hologram opened. John watched. This time, the crystal showed images of Earth leaders, alien kings, trade, routes, wormhole maps, and at the center a plan to erase planets, not with weapons, but with silence. Massive wormholes would open, pulling ships and cities into deep space, never to return. Clean, invisible, untraceable. John stepped back. Why would they do this? He whispered. Power, Saraxa said. Control. Less people, more fear. They use fear to make peace sound like slavery. John felt sick. "This isn't just about you. This is about all of us." Saraxa placed the crystal in his hands. "Now you know." A knock came at the door, but it wasn't loud. It was soft, slow, too calm. John checked the cam. A woman stood there. Human, tall, black suit, cold eyes, an agent. She smiled at the camera. "Hello, John," she said. "I know you're listening. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to offer you something." Saraxa moved close, hand on sword. The woman continued. "Hand over the queen and we'll give you freedom. A ship. Money. Your own planet if you want. She's not worth dying for." John stared at the screen. His hands shook. He looked at Yari, asleep and innocent. He looked at Saraxa, ready to fight again. He didn't speak. The woman smiled wider. "No answer? Fine. We'll wait. But not long." The screen went dark. That night, John couldn't sleep. His mind raced. Was he strong enough to face all this? He had saved a child. But now, the stars themselves were watching him. One move could bring peace. Another could start a war. The heart between two worlds. John couldn't breathe. He sat alone in the dark, staring at the crystal in his hands. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. This thing, small and silent, held the power to expose a secret war. It held the proof that both Earth's leaders and alien rulers were working together to control, erase, and rule by fear. Outside, the station floated quietly in orbit, but inside, everything was about to break. He had one simple choice. Give up Saraxa and save himself, or risk death to protect her, and the truth. The next morning, John stepped into the small room where Saraxa and Yari were eating. They looked peaceful. For a moment it felt like a family breakfast, but that moment was short. John placed the crystal on the table. "We need to leave. Now." Saraxa looked at him. "They'll track us." "I know," John said. "But if we stay, they'll destroy this station and everyone on it. I won't let them kill for us." "We have no ship," she said. "I have a way," John whispered. His plan was simple and dangerous. They would steal a ship from Docking Bay 12, an old mining vessel with weak shields but a strong core, fast, small, easy to miss on radars. He knew how to power it up without the station's systems noticing. He had only 1 hour before the next security sweep. As they prepared, Yari tugged on his arm. "Are we Running away forever? John kneeled. No, we're going somewhere. Safe. Then we tell the truth. But the truth is dangerous, Yari said. So is silence, he replied. The escape didn't go smoothly. As they neared the docking bay, a squad of armed guards spotted them. Stop right there, one of them shouted. Saraxa turned, hands glowing with fire. John grabbed her arm. Don't kill them, just stall. Saraxa nodded. With one motion, she raised a barrier of heat behind them. It wasn't flame. It was light and force. The guards fired their weapons, but the blasts hit the barrier and vanished like smoke. John and Yari rushed to the ship. He activated the ramp and ran inside. Saraxa followed, sealing the door behind them. He jumped into the pilot seat and started the launch sequence. Hold on, he shouted. The ship groaned, then lifted off. As they shot into space, Earth's cruiser appeared in orbit, the HSS Justice. A voice crackled through the comm. You are carrying an enemy of the human alliance. Surrender now or be fired upon. John ignored it. Saraxa, weapons ready? No weapons on this ship, she said calmly. But I can hold shields with my mind, for a little while. John swallowed hard. A little while better be enough. The first missile came fast. Saraxa raised her hands. The ship glowed blue as her energy wrapped around it like armor. The missile hit. A loud boom rocked the ship. But they were still alive. 2 more incoming, John yelled. Saraxa gritted her teeth. I can stop 1 more, not both. Then we need to disappear, John said. He opened the wormhole map from the crystal. A secret path flashed, one only known to royalty. I'm locking us onto this route. It's risky, unstable. Saraxa placed her hand on his. Do it, she said. They jumped. The stars twisted around them. The ship shook so hard it felt like it would tear apart. But then, silence. Deep, soft, strange silence. They had made it. They were in the void layer, a hidden space between dimensions, only accessible through ancient wormhole maps. The place was cold, dark, full of drifting lights and half-formed stars. No, one can find us here, Saraxa said. For now. They set the ship on auto-drift. Inside, John sat alone, staring into the dark glass. Saraxa joined him. You've done more than protect my daughter, she said. You've protected my people's last truth. I didn't plan for any of this, John whispered. That makes it pure, she replied. There was silence between them. Then she said softly, I want to ask you the question now. John turned to her. She stood tall, but her voice was low, almost scared. We have no home. We have no people. But we have each other. I ask you, not as a queen, but as a mother and a woman. Will you be part of our lives? John's heart pounded. He looked at Yari, asleep nearby, her face peaceful, even in the glow of the strange stars. You want me to stay with you both? Yes, Saraxa said. A bond, real, full. John didn't answer right away. He just stared into the stars, remembering how quiet and empty his life used to be. Now, there was chaos, but also love. Just as he opened his mouth to speak, the alarms blared. Someone had followed them into the void. A sleek black ship, unmarked, appeared from behind a dead star. It shouldn't have been able to track them, yet here it was. How is that possible? John said. Saraxa's face darkened. There's only one being who can find us here. Who? Her voice turned cold. My brother. A battle without guns. In the silence of the void, a shadow moved. A sleek black ship slid through the broken starlight like a predator. No name, no signal, no sound. But Saraxa knew it immediately. It's him, she said quietly. John stood at the pilot's seat, watching the dark shape grow larger on the screen. Your brother? Yes, she whispered. Zarian, once a prince, now a traitor. How? Did he find us? John asked. Saraxa's eyes narrowed. Only family can read the deepest path in the crystal. The moment I unlocked it, he saw it too. John cursed under his breath. What does he want? The same thing everyone wants, Saraxa said. Control. Zarian had not always been evil. Long ago, he and Saraxa fought together against the Empire. They protected the innocent. They saved planets. But power changed him. When their father died, Zarian wanted to rule with fear. Saraxa refused. War followed. She won, but at a cost. Zarian disappeared. Now, he had returned. The black ship stopped just outside range. A transmission came through. Not video, only voice. Sister, I see. You still run with broken humans and lost children. John flinched. His voice was smooth, calm, deadly. Saraxa stepped forward and answered, I run from tyrants, and you are the worst of them. Zarian laughed. You protect lies. Give me the crystal, or watch that child vanish from your arms. Again. John reached for the weapon panel. Do we fight? No, Saraxa said. We don't use guns. Why not? Because he wants war, she replied. And this time, we beat him with truth. John didn't understand until she showed him her plan. They wouldn't fire back. They wouldn't run. Instead, they would show the galaxy everything. All of it. She pulled the crystal from its case and placed it on the ship's core console. The screen around them lit up, projecting secret maps, voice messages, meeting recordings. The truth of the false peace, the planned erasures, the betrayals from both Earth and the Alien Council. We stream this to every open relay, she said. Station to station, planet to planet, even Zarian can't stop that many signals. We'll become targets, John said. We already are. They connected to the orbital relay grid, a hidden web of communication satellites used by traitors and rebels. John rerouted the crystal's message through 28 nodes. Every second, more systems linked in. Miners on distant rocks saw it, captains on cargo ships saw it. Even soldiers from both Earth and alien armies paused to listen. Saraxa's voice spoke across space. This is not a threat. This is the truth. We are being controlled. Our people lied to. Our lives traded for power. The war they warned us about was never between species. It was between the rulers and us. As the signal spread, Zarian's voice returned. You think your words matter? His ship charged up energy weapons. Truth doesn't save you from a blast to the heart. Maybe not, John said, stepping beside Saraxa. But it might save everyone else. Zarian's ship fired, but not at them. Instead, it destroyed a nearby relay satellite, cutting part of the signal. Saraxa growled. He'll shut us down one by one. Then we go faster, John said. For the next hour they sent the truth across every corner of space, and the galaxy listened. On planet Dramos, workers stopped digging and started protesting. On station, Helix, soldiers dropped their weapons and marched to the command center. On Earth, a general stared at the screen in silence. He knew it was over. But Zarian didn't stop. He warped closer. Prepare to board, Saraxa said. John looked at her. He'll try to kill you. He'll try to take Yari first, she said. She is the last of our royal blood. John turned to the child. We can't let that happen. Yari looked up, brave and serious. I'll go, she said. If it saves people. No, John said, kneeling in front of her. You're not a weapon. You're not a key. You're a child. And children should never be given to monsters. They made their final move. John uploaded the last piece of the truth. The one thing no one had seen yet. Zarian's betrayal. Recorded in secret, the crystal had a memory of him standing with human leaders, smiling, agreeing to let his own people be erased in exchange for power and command. The moment it played, everything changed. Zarian's voice screamed through the speakers. Turn it off, but it was too late. The people of the galaxy had seen. Zarian's ship powered down, not by choice. His own crew turned against him. Mutiny. The lights on his ship flickered. Saraxa watched from the screen. Her brother appeared at last, face pale, defeated. You win, he said. Saraxa looked at John, then at her daughter. No, she replied. We all win. And she cut the feed. They floated in silence after that. No missiles, no threats, just stars. John leaned back in the chair. You fought him without firing a single gun, he said. Saraxa smiled. Sometimes fire is not the answer. Sometimes light is. In that silence, a message came from Earth, from a rebel captain. Come home, it said. Help us build something better. John looked at Saraxa. Home, he said softly. She nodded. Yes, maybe now we can have one. Home is not a place, it's a promise. For the first time in weeks, the stars looked peaceful. No black ships, no missiles, no orders to surrender or threats of destruction, just silence and light. Inside the small ship, John stood near the viewing window, holding a warm mug between his hands. He watched the stars slide past slowly as the ship drifted forward, headed toward a new station, a new future. Behind him, Yari slept peacefully. Her chest rose and fell gently, her hand holding a small toy she had carved herself out of scrap metal. Beside her, Saraxa sat in silence, watching both her daughter and John with eyes that had seen centuries of war. And now something new. Hope. But peace is never easy, not even after victory. As they moved closer to the station where the rebel signal had come from, John couldn't stop thinking, what if it was a trap? What if Earth Command was only pretending to want peace? Saraxa could see his worry. You don't trust them, she said. John looked at her. I don't trust anyone who used children and lies to control the galaxy. But you trust me, she said softly. John didn't hesitate. Yes. Then that's enough, she replied. We walk forward together, no matter what we face. The rebel station was called Ember's Edge, built into the ruins of an old mining asteroid. It wasn't beautiful, but it was alive. As their ship approached, they saw dozens of smaller ships orbiting it. Cargo haulers, trader vessels, even a DUI, few stolen warships from both human and alien fleets. No banners, no flags, just people. Trying to rebuild, a message came through as they docked. Welcome, Queen Saraxa. Welcome, John. And welcome, Child of Light. When the door opened, a group of rebels waited. Humans, aliens, hybrids. They didn't bow. They didn't salute. They just smiled. The next few days passed quickly. Saraxa spoke to leaders, shared everything from the crystal, and gave them the knowledge to stop future manipulations. She didn't demand power. She only offered peace and strength when needed. John fixed systems, repaired broken engines, helped where he could. Everyone trusted him, not because he was a hero, but because he acted when others only watched. And Yari, she became a symbol, a child who survived all the darkness and still smiled. But peace has a price. One night, as John walked through the empty halls, a voice stopped him. It was the old rebel captain who had sent the message. John, he said, you need to understand something. John turned. What is it? Your bond with Saraxa, where it's not just personal anymore. John blinked. What do you mean? People are watching. Humans. Aliens. They see you, a human man, protecting a royal alien family, standing between war and peace. They believe in you. John felt a chill. I didn't ask for that. You didn't need to. The captain said, but now they want you to lead. John shook his head. I fix things. I'm no leader. Maybe, the captain said, smiling, but maybe that's exactly the kind of leader we need. John didn't answer right away. He went back to his room. Saraxa was there, waiting. You heard? She said gently. John nodded. You're not alone, she said. Not anymore. Whatever you choose, we choose it together. He sat beside her. I never thought saving a child would bring me here. You didn't just save her, Saraxa whispered. You saved us all. That night something beautiful happened. The station turned off its defense lights. The people gathered in the main dome, and for the first time in decades, across the galaxy, humans and aliens stood side by side without fear. They listened as John stepped forward and spoke. His voice was calm, honest. I didn't come here to be a hero. I didn't come here to lead. I came here because I saw a child crying in the dark, and I couldn't walk away. This galaxy has been ruled by lies and fear for too long, but now we can build something new. Not perfect, not easy, but real. And I promise, as long as I live, I'll protect it. Not with power, not with war, but with truth. People clapped, cheered, some cried. But Saraxa, she just held Yari's hand tighter. Later, when the lights dimmed and the people returned to their rooms, John stood outside the viewing dome with Saraxa and Yari. You still want me to join your lives? He asked softly. Saraxa smiled. Home is not a place, she said. It's a promise. John turned to Yari. She reached out, grabbed his hand and said, You already are, my father. And in that quiet moment, among the stars and broken systems, a new family was born, not by blood but by choice, by love and by the fire of one man's courage to care.